Movies are awesome. The Shining is widely regarded as one of the best films ever made, and it's very easy to see why, I think. It revolutionized filmmaking in so many ways, it invented a ton of different techniques for how to film things, and it was a masterclass at dread in making the audience feel something. It's an absolute horror classic that holds up even 40 years after its initial release. I'm not even really a big horror film fan, but I really love this movie. The performance from Nicholson is fantastic, and I think the way that the movie builds dread by taking its time before going to the place you know it's going to be going is absolutely fantastic. And the ending, while I do think it has its flaws and it may not be perfect to me, is still a really good climax. However, I'm not here to talk about The Shining tonight. No, I'm here to talk about what came 39 years after. Dr. Sleep, the unnecessary sequel. Dr. Sleep is a 2019 horror thriller film directed by Mike Flanagan and is a sequel to the 1980 classic The Shining that I just talked about. It's based off a book by the same name, which King also wrote as a sequel to his book, The Shining. I just made that sound a little more complicated than it probably is. It stars Ewan McGregor as a grown-up Danny Torrance, which is already really cool as I really love that actor. And I think one of the most interesting things about Dr. Sleep is that it never really feels like it's a sequel to The Shining. They tell you that this is Danny, they tell you it takes place after the events of the first movie, but you could really watch this film by itself without ever being confused. It's one of the greatest strengths to it. This is clearly a sequel. It's clearly continuing the main story of the first movie, but it's also the vision of its director, Mike Flanagan, in its own unique package. One interesting thing about this is how it compares to The Shining in quality. Now, obviously, the film isn't as good as The Shining, and I don't think it ever would have been, but it definitely does a few things better. For one, I actually think the film is scarier. A ton of people comment about how The Shining is one of the scariest films they've ever seen, but honestly, I don't find it to be that scary. It's definitely tense and really well crafted in that regard, and has some genuinely exciting and thrilling moments, but never is it to the point that I want to look away or I'm genuinely frightened. Dr. Sleep is a whole different story. It's not filled with obvious jump scares or any traditional things like that I would see in a modern day horror movie, but it's definitely got more of a horror to it than The Shining did for me. There's some moments that are genuinely horrifying, whether it comes from the surreal elements throughout, the death of the baseball boy, or just the brutalness of the movie's story. There's a ton of things here that I think are really, really creepy, and moments that just kind of throw me for a loop that, again, I didn't really feel in the first one. And if you're making a horror film, I'm kind of lean towards the movie that makes me feel a bit more scared. Another thing is the film actually explores elements that were introduced in The Shining in far greater detail. The titular Shining is actually explained and very well utilized in this movie more than it is in the first. You can argue it was never a major focus in the original movie, and I think you'd be right, but I do also think it could have been handled a bit better, especially since for me when I first watched it, it was really confusing whether it was the ghosts that were doing anything or if, you know, Jack just went crazy. I was also confused if Danny was just a stupid little kid or if he actually had supernatural abilities, and this movie handles it really, really well in telling you that. Dr. Sleep is far more open about being a sci-fi fantasy thriller, and I think it's kind of better for that. Kubrick seemed to sometimes get lost in whether his movie was, again, trying to be about somebody going crazy because of cabin fever, or whether there was truly crazy ghosts going on. I've heard the book handles it a bit more, or maybe I'm just not paying attention when I watch the movie, but I have seen other people comment the same things about how they were confused about what the story was trying to get across. So again, I think that the fact that this movie handles a lot of the supernatural things in more greater detail kind of helps the original movie work a little bit better for me. Another strength is easily the acting. I think the film has far better acting than the original one from everyone across the board. And maybe that's a bit unfair considering the film had a small cast, and if 2/3 of them aren't that good, it can make it seem a bit uneven, especially since Nicholson was fucking fantastic. He just kind of makes the rest not seem as great. And don't get me wrong, there's really great moments with that cast, but I think it's clearly better here, especially the actress for Abra. She's wonderful, and I don't think I've ever seen a child actor as good as her. I loved every scene she was in, and she felt like a real character and somebody who would exist in this world that they've set up. It never just threw me off whenever I saw something that she was doing. Again, Ewan McGregor's fantastic. I love him in pretty much every movie that he's in, even the Star Wars prequels. He's like the brightest star in those movies. And the actress for Rose the Hat was wonderful. Even some of the smaller actors that I didn't really think were gonna be that great because they were minor performances turned out really, really good performances, and I think the director had a lot to do with that in helping the performances really come off and work a lot better. I also love how they recast everyone from the original film instead of using CGI or some other method. It may be a bit off with some characters like Jack Torrance. He doesn't look perfect in the one scene that he's in, but the actress for Wendy Torrance is so fucking great. She looks so much similar, and I think that it's going to be so much better as time goes on, as it will stop the movie from aging if they did some weird CGI stupid recreation. I think it's also a bit more respectful to the actors in the original film to recast them and recreate it rather than trying to take it from the original movie, if that makes sense. I just really appreciate recasting rather than trying to not put any effort into it. I also could not talk about this movie without talking about how it goes back to the hotel for its final climax. It's such a great moment seeing the return and getting into how awesome everything this is going to be. I think it's really this moment that ties the two films together. You finally feel like you're getting the true climax of these movies and this character. And while again, I do think that this is clearly a sequel, it does at this moment feel like a true sequel to me. There are problems with it, and it does feel like the point when the film stops being its own thing and is again just trying to be a sequel. It's a tad bit self-indulgent in how it just dives into a ton of nostalgia and fan service, but I think the film deserves its fan service for being its own thing for so much of its runtime and standing on its own without heavily tying too far back to The Shining. So I think that it deserves, again, a little bit of time to be a little self-indulgent, and I really like that. Dr. Sleep is in no way trying to be The Shining, and that's what makes it work so well. It could have easily baked in more pointless nostalgia. It could have strayed away from the book that King wrote just to cash in on another classic horror film, but it didn't, and I think that's what makes it so special. It's just a big horror, sci-fi, blockbuster thriller that is just the product of a director that really enjoyed making the movie that he made. It's got an awesome story, it's got really emotional moments, it's scary at times, the villain is terrific, the acting is wonderful. It is a wonderful time. So it may be an unnecessary sequel, but it's one that I am genuinely happy that we ended up getting. That all being said, you should absolutely watch both of these films. You should watch The Shining if you haven't seen it, because it's a horror classic and a classic film altogether. And you should watch Dr. Sleep because it's a really damn good movie on its own, and a really fun follow-up to The Shining that I think a lot of people who enjoyed the original movie could really enjoy. You could definitely look at this movie as a pointless cash grab. I vehemently disagree, and I think I always will. So thank you all for watching, and go ahead and leave a like on what you thought of Dr. Sleep if you've seen it. What do you think of The Shining? Which one do you prefer? Personally, I think while Dr. Sleep is the worst movie as a film, I think it's a bit more entertaining to me, and I think I'll come back to it more than I'll come back to The Shining. But I'm definitely interested in what you guys have to say, so please go ahead and tell me down below. Now, I really want to go watch the extended cut, so I might just go and do that. Have a really happy Halloween, everybody. So, anyway, Ramsden, now what'd you think of my analysis of Dr. Sleep, dude?
So, you want honesty, right?
Yeah, dude, I worked very hard on it. I talked about The Shining, too, it's really cool.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be real, that was the shittest waste of my time in existence. I don't know why you did that. Aiden is literally fighting for his fucking life, trying to avenge Zach, and you talk about Dr. fucking Sleep, bro. I'm sorry, bro, but like, could have picked something better, bro.
Did you
what about
like
Dr. Awake?
I've seen Dr. Sleep. You didn't have to explain Dr. Sleep to me.
Fuck all
And
y'all!
also, yeah, cry.
Fuck
Fucking got him right. Honestly.
bro, you fucking murdered him.
Want a Sprite cranberry?
Wait. What the fuck even is this? phone. Ethan? Why would he be calling? Hello? Yeah, what's up? Wait. You been the ghost the entire time? Well, wait a minute, that makes no sense. How could you be the ghost?
What do you mean I've been here the entire time?
The entire?
Oh shit.
Bro, what the fuck? You literally killed Zach.
He deserved it.
No, he did. My friend's dead.
That's kind of funny.
You're gonna have to go to prison. You realize that, right?
I won't have to go to prison if there's no witnesses, Aiden.
Oh, that's a...
It's time to die.
Well, I don't...
I can't let him win. I need some help. Jay, send me something. Anything!
Aiden? I hear Aiden in my head. He needs something. Well, it's as good as time as any to get rid of this. Alright, hopefully that gets to him. It's a good thing I have this fucking portal gun right here for no fucking reason, isn't it, Ramson?
Oh, shit. Portal? Okay. Sprite. Oh, wait. I remember.
Bruh, no cap. I could fucking devour this whole ass Sprite. I'm not even kidding.
Alright, you foul ghost. I got something even you can't resist. The lemon lime flavor of Sprite. No, my only weakness. Sprite. Get a load of this. And burn. You want a sip?
I wanted a Sprite's cranberry.
Hey, yo.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Homie World. How's it going?
I hate
Been a
it.
while.
Good, bro.
Been here
How
at
you
home
been?
world.
And that got me big sad looking at Zach.
Yo,
You
Aiden,
still
you're
left him
kinda
in the
quiet.
group.
Oh, I saw Zach in the group and that got me in tears, man.
Damn.
Anyway, how y'all been?
Well,
I've been Gucci.
what you been
I've
up
been,
to?
you
bro?
know, doing my grind. You know,
I've been
planning to start 5 Mob Season 2 soon.
I've been waiting for it to come out, but the group chat's still there, so you know.
Yeah,
Figured
I've been
eventually.
It'll
I've
happen.
been-
It'll happen.
I've been
It's only been
trucking.
10 years.
Trucking.
Oh, I can tell.
I've been
Damn.
trucking around the whole state of Northern Carolina.
How old
Basically
I am.
the
How,
same
how you
thing.
been, Parker? I see you still got the dyed hair at 28 years old.
I
That's
see you're
pretty
still
good.
in college, bro.
Still in college too.
Wow.
You know me, my liberal brother. You see, the things that I learned at college are things that I held
I
on
voted
to
for
for my
Trump twice.
entire-
You host Yin now,
Still
right?
drinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yen's going really well actually.
Wow.
Yin.
That just reminded me of Zach, man.
That takes me back
Man, I miss
to the
Zach.
good old days.
Yo, Aiden.
Yeah.
You know, it's been 10 years to the day since he
10
died.
years.
For
Wow.
real,
And I
10
still look
years.
like I'm 12, bro. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Aiden
But,
is
you
there
know-
for that. You gonna finish soon?
You know, that there Sega Genesis hadn't been running quite like it
Mm.
used to, so hoping
Oh, I
one
know.
day I can
Well, what
get the
if-
final episode.
What if we
Maybe.
toast to Zachary?
To Zach,
I think we should.
guys, I've been
toast to.
drinking water for 10 years, but I think for the special occasion,
Parker, put that shit down.
No.
for the special
Fucking no.
occasion,
The special
We're not
occasion of
toasting
toasting Zach.
with your fucking
I'm gonna open up
sardine.
a fresh
bro.
Sprite.
Fine. If I can't toast with my sardines and peanut butter, I guess I'll
Damn.
just have to use my Bang
Alright.
flavored froze rose.
Hydration is a
liquid,
limited resource over here, so I'm calling weights instead for Zachary.
There you go.
liquid.
Yeah, right.
Zach.
Alright,
The
let's
bro.
go.
All right, here we go. 3,
Everybody toast.
2, 1. To Zach.
To Zach.
Zach. Get hench with Zach.
Nothing's more manly than pumping iron to your dead homies.
Bro, of course, bro.
I remember when
How's
he
that
used to pump
Sprite?
Mayfield
Is
with
it-
iron.
Aiden.
Bro, I hadn't tasted a soda in 10 years. It hit different.
Damn, bro. You're getting drunk off that shit, bro?
It's kind of sad because I literally killed my brother with this, but surprisingly, the lemon lime flavor really does hold up.
Well, thank you, everyone. Fortunately, I gotta go deliver some more goods to the Walmart, so I'll catch
I
you
gotta
later.
go film 5 Mob Season 2.
Alright. Sounds good. Love all y'all.
Bye, game.
You all
see y'all later.
Peace out, bros.
Stay frosty.
Rip Zachary.
I went skydiving, I went Rocky Mountain